Epi Info Mobile is a simple tool that can be used to easily perform a series of awesome statistical calculations, including sample size determination. In this video, I am going to show you how to use Epi Info Mobile to quickly and effortlessly compute the minimum sample size for an unmatched case control study. Now, if this sounds exciting, then stick around so I show you how easy it is to get this done. Hi, and welcome to Epi Info for Rookies. On this channel, I explain easy ways to conduct quantitative research using Epi Info suite of tools. Today, we'll be talking about how you can use Epi Info Mobile for sample size determination for an unmatched case control study. In this video, I will be taking you through what is a case control study, the main considerations for sample size determination for case control studies, how to apply these considerations using Epi Info Mobile, and how to interpret your results. So what are we waiting for? Let's do this, shall we? As a researcher, when you want to conduct a quantitative research in a particular population, all right, it is usually practically impossible to study the entire population, and you will be required to take a sample from the population of interest, right? And then study this sample to be able to conclude about this population, right? The big question for most researchers then is, what is the smallest sample size that you need that can give you any meaningful results? Because if you take a very small sample, it may be too small to give you a good representation of the population. So as a researcher, it is important to calculate the minimum sample size to guide your research planning and even the entire research process. Now, when determining the sample size to use for a research study, there are various considerations, all right? However, the main consideration to take note of is the type of study design that you intend to use for your study. In my last video, I showed you how to compute the minimum sample size for a descriptive cross-sectional study. You can see the link here to that awesome video if you are yet to watch it. Today, we will be looking at how to do this if your study design is an unmatched case control study. Now, if you don't know what a case control study is, no worries, I'm going to explain. We all know that for a disease to occur, there are usually factors that are associated with the development of that disease, right? These factors are called risk factors, okay? So a case control study is simply a kind of study where the researcher tries to find out whether a particular factor can lead to the development of a disease. So the researcher selects two groups of people to study. The first group are people that already have the disease, and these are called the cases, all right? While the second group are those without the disease, and these are called the controls, all right? Let's use an example of a disease condition, say neonatal sepsis, okay? The first group that have the disease are called cases. These are cases of neonatal sepsis, right? And then the second group are those that don't have the disease, and they are called controls. So you can see where the term case control comes from, right? Now, why would a researcher need to study two groups of people to find out the risk factor for a disease? Well, it's simple. The idea is to look closely at these two groups of people to determine the kind of risk factor that they have been exposed to that may have caused the disease. So if we're thinking that urinary tract infection during pregnancy could be an exposure that may lead to neonatal sepsis in a newborn child, then the exposure here is urinary tract infection, okay? When we closely study the level of exposure between the cases and the control, if the level of exposure is significantly higher among the cases than the controls, then we can say that urinary tract infection during pregnancy is a risk factor for sepsis infection. So what about the unmatched that we are talking about? Now, sometimes when selecting the cases that have the disease, some researchers go an extra mile to make sure that the controls that are selected are very similar to the cases so as to improve the efficiency of the study. So they do something that is called matching, all right, where they match controls to cases. For this video, we are not going to consider a case control study in which matching was done, all right? That's for another video. We're only going to be computing sample size for an unmatched case control study. All right. Now, click the link popping up above or check the description of this video if you want to learn more about the different kinds of study designs that are used in research. So, Dr. Aminu Lawal Musa, a public health specialist with the Katsina State Ministry of Health, wanted to carry out an unmatched case control study. All right. He wanted to determine whether urinary tract infection or sexually transmitted infection during pregnancy is a risk factor for neonatal sepsis, okay? So he chose to do this study among neonates admitted to the special care baby unit of the new Federal Teaching Hospital in Katsina, Nigeria, okay? His desired level of confidence was 99%, and he wanted the power of his study at 80%, all right? After an extensive review of literature, he found out that from a previous study done in Mekelle City, Ethiopia in 2015, all right, the proportion of cases with neonatal sepsis that were exposed was 51.3%, meaning of the babies with neonatal sepsis, that's the cases, right? 51.3% of their mothers had UTI or STI during pregnancy, while only 13.5% of the controls had the exposure. Now, Dr. Aminu wanted to have a high statistical power for his study, so he decided to use 2 controls for each case of neonatal sepsis that he found in the special care baby unit. What is the minimum sample size required for Dr. Aminu to carry out this study? All right, so let's pause here for a moment to piece out the parameters that we have. All right, first off, what study design are we talking about? This is clear. All right, an unmatched case control study, right? All right, next, what is Aminu's desired level of confidence? 99%. Good. What power is Dr. Aminu planning on applying for his study? 80%. Fine. Also, he wanted 2 controls per case. So the ratio of controls to cases is 2:1. All right? Great. So what is left for us now is the level of exposure to the risk factor for the cases and the controls from a previous study. And for the controls, we saw it was 13.5% that were exposed, while 51.3% of the cases were exposed. Okie dokie, artichoke. Now that we have all our parameters set, then what's next? Well, you guessed right. Let's bring out our mobile phones, all right, and launch Epi Info Mobile. All right. Now, once we have Epi Info Mobile launched, okay, we quickly go to Start Calc, all right, and then which of these will we select under Start Calc? Yes, you guessed right again. We're going to select sample size or matched case control, right? Okay, and then we simply plug in the parameters. Easy peasy, all right? But first, let me explain this user interface. If you look up there at the very top, all right, that's the title bar, all right? You see that we are in the correct place, right? It says unmatched case control study, all right? Next off is this table, and this is the results table. We will see our sample size for cases as well as controls here, all right? But these values you are seeing here, they are just default values, okay? So next, we'll see this drop down arrow, and this is for us to input our desired level of confidence. Okay, all right. Then we'll see this first slider, all right? And this is for the power of the study. And by default, you see it at 80%, all right? Then you see a space where we can enter the ratio of controls to cases, all right? And then you see a second slider. This second slider is for the percentage of controls exposed. And then a space again also, and this allows us to enter the odds ratio. That's if we have that data from previous studies. And lastly, but definitely not the least, you have the last slider for the percent of cases with the exposure. So how the software works is when we put in all the required parameters, we just need to go and check the results at the results table. Very simple, okay? So let's go ahead and plug in these values. We'll start with the confidence level, okay? So just click the arrow to reveal the drop down, and we select 99%, okay? Cool, right? All right. Then Dr. Aminu wanted a power of 80%, all right? And well, we have it there by default. So we'll leave the default value at 80%. Remember, Aminu wanted to improve the statistical power of his study. So he decided to use 2 controls for every case of neonatal sepsis that he found. So here, the software allows you to enter only the number of controls to cases. So how many controls are we talking about here? 2, right? So we enter that 2. All right. 2 controls per every case of neonatal sepsis. Very good. So if he wanted 1 control per every case, then we'll have just entered 1 here. All right. So next we'll go to the second slider and enter the percent of controls that were exposed. And that's 13.5%. Very good. Mind you, these sliders are very sensitive. I found out that you need to use the very tip of your finger to get it right. All right, so let there just be some small contact between your finger and the screen, and you'll find it very easy. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. Okay, you have a choice here to either enter the odds ratio or the percent of cases with exposure. Depending on the data that you have from past literature, you can put in whichever one you have, all right? So here, Dr. Aminu has percent of cases with exposure, and that's 51.3%, right? So we pull the slider to 51.3%. And that's it. All we need to simply do now is to look at the results table, all right? Now, Epi Info Mobile is very, very nifty. Depending on your preference, Epi Info within the split of a second has computed the minimum sample size using 3 different methods. The first is the Kelsey method. I'm sure most of you recognize this formula. It's a heavy one. Give me a second. All right. The second method is that of Fleece. All right, hold on. And the last one is Fleece with continuity correction. And this has continuity correction already applied automatically. All right. Okay, so don't worry about these big formulas. All right. Epi Info works under the hood to compute this sample size automatically, so you can focus on the most important thing, which is doing a good research. Now, any one of these 3 will do, all right? But the one that gives you the best estimation of the sample size is the Fleece with continuity and correction. Whichever one you use, just make sure that you state it in your proposal or in your report. All right. For some of my viewers who are doing a dissertation or a thesis, you will definitely need to reference one of these formulas. All right. So please check the video description below, as I know you will need to cite one of these formulas that you use in your calculation of sample size. All right. So I'll be using the Fleece with continuity correction. Right. We can see that Dr. Aminu will need a minimum of 28 cases and 56 controls to carry out his study. All right. Remember, it was 2 controls to 1 case, right? So you have a total sample size of 84. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now it's your turn. What is the minimum sample size that will be required for Dr. Khadija Hamza Liman, a renowned public health nutrition specialist? She plans to carry out an unmatched case control study to determine the association between consumption of fried foods and breast cancer among patients in Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital Zaria. In a previous study, 120 out of 408 controls had consumed favorable amounts of fried foods with an odds ratio of 4.5. She wants a ratio of 3 controls to 1 case and 99.9% confidence level. Assuming she wanted the power of the study at 90%. Please put your answers in the comment section below. And please don't ignore this, because it serves as a good feedback for my efforts. Alrighty, this is how easy it is to compute the minimum sample size for an unmatched case control study right from the comfort of your mobile phones using Epi Info Mobile software. Now, if you have gained any value in this video, then give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and colleagues to help or benefit them. And if you want to see more videos like this one, then hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell icon to get notified as soon as my next video drops. In my next video, God willing, I am going to show you how to use Epi Info to calculate the sample size for a cohort study. But until then, peace.